What's up, chat? We are here. Another episode of Law and Order. Let's do it.
Hater.
Dun dun.
Just stop.
I am inevitable.
This song's all in the crew, they'll be back in the mix. Daredevil born again, talking deep with the flicks. Round table session, breaking count with precision. Murdock's back in action, got the tunnel vision. Yo, red suit on, but he ain't no saint. Throwing hands in the dark, no need for restraint. Wilson scheming, got his eyes on the block. Mats on the rooftops, hear the heartbeat knock. Yo, also calling shots, damage going insane. Who's the real villain, who's playing the game? Foggy and Karen, will they stay in the ride? Or will they get lost in the devil's dark side? Blood justice, fists like thunder. Hell's Kitchen rise, watch the city go under. Born again, yeah, we breaking it down. Kingpin lurking, who's taking the crown? Round table, deep dive, theories unfold. Nzo with the squad, got that take on gold. Netflix stays calm, but the legend remains. Born again, he, yeah, remember the name.
What is up? What is going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of Law and Order, the Roundtable. Daredevil Born Again. They're pretty much the same show, but it is what it is. We are here to talk about this episode, which is number 3. Got the usual suspects in the house. Mr. Graham, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Oh, Mondays and Fridays. My channel, The Road to Wisdom, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've already uploaded the show for tomorrow, so please check it out.
Absolutely. Chris, where can I find you, sir?
Real Review 3000 right now. We're doing Unmasked and Masked Singer. I know Danny's been watching, and it's a pretty good season so far. Of course, here on Big Ford Entertainment for these and for like our rankings, kind of over on Danny Graham's channel, The Road to Wisdom, and wherever anybody else will have it.
Yes. Brian the Grizzly is in the house. What up, Brian? Tell the people where they can find you, sir.
What up, guys? I'm 1/3 of Spoiler Kings. We're on Mondays and Mondays and Thursdays. Good Lord. And then I'm on my Dynasty Pylon on football on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Sundays. So pretty much every day of the week I'm on somewhere, including with Nzo on Tuesday. So
that is correct. Make sure to check that out. And yeah, I can't believe the Steelers are actually putting all their bags in Aaron Rodgers. That shit is pissing me off.
I was
but
like,
bad man.
But we ain't here to talk about football. I just had to put that out there. Warren, where can they find you, sir?
I hope they win the Super Bowl. I hope they win it. Oh Lord, please let the Steelers win the Super Bowl.
You can find me.
Do you want to see Belichick smile for once?
Nowhere. Everywhere. So that's it.
Last but not least, Elihu-Who, where can they find where can they find you?
Me? Oh man, now I feel like Star-Lord. It's Elihu. You guys can find me every Tuesday through Monday on Threads, Instagram, X, yada, all the other stuff. I want to apologize to everybody trying to tune into the live stream of the clips. It got cloudy, so that happened. Sorry, guys. But if you guys got a chance to see it, good.
Absolutely. And to the chat, Creighton, I hope I said your name right. My bad if I didn't. Coach Gabe is in the house. Dandelion is in the house. Basel is in the house as well. And Poe was in the house already. So thank you guys for popping in. But again, we are here to chat about the Daredevil. And this episode was episode 3, which was called The Hollow of His Hand. Danny, give your overall thoughts on this episode.
First, I give a shout to Gabe and Creighton, those two of my co-workers, good friends of mine.
Thank you,
support
Gabe.
Me. This episode, the whole series I like. This episode, I thought was very interesting. To me, it was kind of had some underlying currents because the White Tiger was, I think when he was on the stand, he was kind of touching Matt Murdock's soul with what he was saying. It was the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do, that kind of stuff. So the conflict between the two of them, the conflict, I haven't figured out yet whether Kingpin or Vanessa ordered what we saw at the end. I don't want to reveal it now, but this show has really has me interested. I know some people say it's a little slow burn. I usually don't like slow burn shows, but I really like this because I'm quite confident when it gets to episodes 6, 7, and 8 that we definitely gonna get what we want to see. So I'm liking it.
Absolutely. Mr. Knight, overall thoughts of episode 3. And it's good. Look, we got a Chris Knight sighting. Not only do we have him on the stream, we have a camera going tonight. Wow, look at that.
I'm on my phone. It's just, I was like, hey, everybody else except for this guy down there has their camera.
I think Warren's a gremlin. That's why you don't know.
Stop picking your nose and turn on your camera, dude.
We see him. We go,
Come on.
No, cut it back off. Cut it back off. Cut it back off.
Anyways, no, I agree with Danny on a lot of this. Actually, no, I think that they leaned into some of the things a little better in this episode. They took it a little away from the Law and Order side, but I mean, I still understand where you're going with that. But this episode needed it. Obviously, this is something that's going to lead to further happenings in the show. So this episode was needed. So I liked it. I liked the ending, not necessarily for what happened, but what we saw or what we might have saw. But we'll get to that.
Absolutely. Brian, overall thoughts. Come on, Brian.
It was all right. I mean, it's taking steps to where I wanted to get to. So that's why I'm like, I know I'm happy about this getting closer to this, to Daredevil and the Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
I need that, right? But it's taken a long time getting there and going through entire trial. I understand why you did it with White Tiger. I understood the emotion and try to evoke and all that stuff. But at the heart of it, I kind of want more action, which is weird to say. I just, at the heart of it, I need a little bit more going on for this series. And
I am shocked you said that.
It's just not giving me a lot. And it's funny. I don't mind talking and good writing and all that, but it's literally Daredevil.
You are the captain of character development, and they're giving us character development, and you're not happy with it.
But they did it in Andor too. No, they did the same thing in Andor. They did the same thing. I don't mind character development as long as you give me some action. You finish up a plot. You gotta give me something. So episode 1, they gave me something. Episode 2, they gave me something. It was a lot less than this one, man. It just really was. And
I can't wait. I'm gonna say his bull.
It's a little bit crazy. I'm sorry, man. I don't want to say I hate it. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just saying I need a little bit more, just a little bit.
So far, and as much as I hate this guy's opinion sometimes, we have been on the same page for the last 3 episodes. So definitely, because I agree with you. Eli, Brian, overall.
Yeah, I'm wrong. I'm sorry, guys. I'm wrong.
Wow. I'm wrong. Better be ready to admit you're
I'm wrong there. That's it.
So that means you're married. You're used to saying that. Okay, I understand.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I thought I was watching episode Law and Order with a special guest star Charlie Cox, but turned out I was watching a very good episode of character development between Wilson Fisk and Charlie Cox. People were complaining this was a filler episode. It's not a filler episode. I actually enjoyed this character development. I'm like, I like how this is going with the mirrored interpretation of each other, of Wilson and Charlie. I love this. I said Charlie, not Daredevil, because I said Charlie, he's Charlie. I like this episode.
But Eli, is that another problem? That we've gotten to 3 episodes of Daredevil and we haven't seen him become Daredevil again. So like
the first episode.
I guarantee you this. Next episode, he still will not be Daredevil. I guarantee it.
Of course. He will not because this is a mirror. If you notice, Wilson is actually doing stuff to benefit the city and Charlie's doing something to benefit himself. Well, it's a mirror. They flipped. They flipped each other.
We're on overall thoughts, and we're trying.
We're definitely gonna get into that because I know there's gonna be a lot of talk when it comes to those.
Sorry.
So let's get through the overalls. Warren.
What?
Holy
There you
Whoa!
shit!
What the hell? Whoa!
Look at that.
Hey, Danny,
It's Gizmo.
you were right. He
Unmute.
is a gremlin.
Unmute.
You gotta unmute.
Unmute, brother.
Get mute. Maybe
That little
Anyways,
button
the
is-
camera,
There we
and
go.
his,
The
the camera and his microphone can't be on at the same time. Maybe that's the problem.
the episode was okay.
You got 3 more hours before midnight.
I don't. What was I gonna say? The only other thing is that I wish they show we get more like you say character development, but we don't. I don't understand why they're forcing Ben Urich's niece, but we don't get to know more about her.
Yes,
Like-
that's a
like-
good point too.
And but I'll bring that up later. So it's a weird character development, but I thought it was an okay episode. Murdock and Friends, that's what I'm calling it right now until I see more. So that's my personal opinion.
Oh, so it looks like we got an even keel over here. 3 thought it was great, and 3 thought it was meh. Right? So
I
you
don't
know
about-
me.
Wait. Let me rephrase something. I didn't say it was great.
Okay,
It's
you guys
good.
liked it.
And it's in the
Yeah.
place of where it needs to be right now.
So you guys also know my keyword is it's trash, and I have not said that about this series yet because it's not
Okay.
trash, but it's not great either. I said this before, like it's called Daredevil, right? And yet we've seen one scene in
No,
episode
it's not
1 where he
called
fights as
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Daredevil
Wait,
is a
what?
character. The name of the show is Rebirth.
called
We are
Born
not
Again.
going.
Reborn.
Daredevil colon
Born again. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
he-
you.
Right,
We're
right
working
now
towards
we
it.
seen him in the womb. He is maturing.
Yeah, exactly.
When he comes out, he's gonna be Daredevil.
So, all right, because
I guarantee it'll be more episodes with him not being Daredevil than
Oh,
him
yeah.
being Daredevil.
Oh yeah, we ain't getting Daredevil.
I
till
won't doubt
episode
that,
8.
but we saw that in the first one. In the
Exactly, that's the problem. We see.
Hang on. Why
good
are we
point.
complaining that Daredevil is not being Daredevil, but nobody's complaining that Fisk is not being the menacing Fisk that he is? He's being a nice guy.
Because- hold on.
That's a different question.
Because it's not called Fisk. It's not called Kingpin. It's called Daredevil. This is the show. Kingpin is a supporting character. So whatever he goes through is fine as long as we get what the name of the show is, which is Daredevil. Now, personally, I see why it's going like this is because this was supposed to be an 18 episode season. Instead, they ended up cutting it down halfway. So that is why it feels like the way it is. If it was a full season, you would get like, oh, okay, we're getting Daredevil towards the end, right? But because they cut it down into one season, the first half of the season is probably going to be a lot of Matt Murdock stuff. And then we're going to get Daredevil towards the end, which will lead into next season. I think it was a wrong choice to do that.
Let me tell you this, with the rewrites and everything, this was originally supposed to be aired as the pilot episode before the rewrites happened.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that.
The first episode was rewrote so they could put in Fozzie and Karen, which they completely like just threw away after that one episode. So, but overall, like I said, I'll never say it's trash. It's not trash. The writing is pretty good. The courtroom stuff, and we'll get into our positives, pretty good. But I just don't, because we've seen bad courtroom stuff. That was She-Hulk. That was trash. That was 100% absolute horrible, trash courtroom stuff. Just take away from the show, just the courtroom stuff alone was trash. So this is like 1,000 times better. You know what I mean? But again, it's just, I think we need to see a little bit more of the Daredevil. I want a little bit more of a balance when I watch the show. We're going to get into our positives. Warren, I'll start on the other end. What did you like about this episode? Danny? He must have switched to that gremlin real quick because that camera popped up. The ears started getting bigger. He's like, click.
I'm going through my transformation right now.
You sit around the water, are you?
You're not Vulcan, man. Those are disappointing for a reason.
What was it? It was water. They came feed him after midnight. It was 3 things too. They came
sunlight, water, and not feeding after midnight.
After midnight, yeah.
Okay, so positives, I would say we are seeing actions have consequences. What I mean is that, like, even though you think the good guy wins, he doesn't win in the end. And even though you think, okay, yay, we won. No, we really didn't win. And then I did like the fact that again I think what I like is I'm seeing Matt not have. We're seeing the repercussions of Matt not having Karen and Foggy by his side and in the courtroom. And that's why he's making such desperate moves. I think that he's making a lot of desperate moves, and it's kind of making him on a hinge. I mean, he even says it in the episode. This was the only play I had, and I know if Matt really thought about it, that's not the only play he had. He would have thought better, but he felt desperate. I think that he's not thinking as well because he doesn't have his friends by him. They were his yin and yang. So the development of Fist is still pretty good. I like the fact that you see he's slowly using his criminal ways to get things done. So I think it's good. I like the character development. That's what I like. I do like that. I'm on the point of you guys where I liked the episode, but it was kind of boring. So that's where I am.
I got you. Eli, what did you like about this episode?
Sorry, I was eating. I loved the argument that the prosecutor made, the closing argument. That, like Danny, like you guys said, the writing is excellent because he got all the facts and stuff, but he had the visualization of the body as the last thing he said. I mean, that's gonna weigh heavy on a jury. I'm like, okay, I love this writing right there. That's great scene right there. The use of BB instead of the New York Times or other high stream main media is genius because he's actually connecting with the people itself in New York. The people in New York will actually go on social media. They'll follow this stuff. They won't pay attention to the big mainstream media. It's a corporation. Okay, yeah. They're New Yorkers. They're going to pay attention to what's happening in New York. And a local social media reporter, they're going to follow her. They're going to find this. Like that guy said, this is fucking brilliant. This is brilliant, man. Sorry, Danny, but I'm just quoting the show. I love that fact that he's just going with the social media instead of the New Times. Like, hey, reach out to the people itself. I love that twist. What else? There was one other thing. If I remember, I'll come back. Sorry.
Cool. I noticed, and I'm pretty sure Brian won't either, but I noticed one thing that nobody said they liked about this episode was the action. Go ahead, Brian.
Hold on.
No, you can't do that.
Cheap people. How do you know we're not going to say that?
I'm waiting. We'll see.
Because there's none there. There's none there, so it's okay.
Oh, that's wrong.
No, there's action. It's not action, but that's not here. We're supposed to be talking about things you like. So what I like? I like, actually the way they are developing some of the characters is cool. Once again, I wish they threw some action in there. The one they kind of panned over, what's her name, Angela and Ayala. So, which both become White Tiger, in comic books. So I think that's actually really cool. They're going off of, these are things that are happening, that are coming right out of the comic book pages. So these are really like straight out of the stuff. The storylines they're keeping very they're meshing a couple of storylines, but they're keeping it true. They understand the character. I like Charlie Cox overall. I do like the way they're doing with him. I don't like necessarily that's all he is, but it reminds me very much of the Batman. You know how the Batman was him trying to learn how to become Bruce Wayne? Well, this is the exact opposite. This is him learning how to reconnect, having an identity crisis, and learning how to reconnect as Daredevil. So I mean, those are all good things. Once again, we said this show is doing a good job. It's written well, it's acted well. All this stuff is good. Just sometimes it gets a little boring. I've actually had, I was watching it one time and I actually had to stop, come back the next day and say, all right, let me finish it now, because it's just not action that holds your attention all the time.
I agree. Chris is gone. Danny, positives.
Oh, Chris, yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, Chris there. Chris,
I-
positive.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll just do this while I'm doing my other thing. So the writing, great. Yeah, I think it's still going off of the whole mirror aspect. Charlie trying to, he's trying to be something he's not, which is just strictly a person. He's lived so long a dual life, and he's trying to now live a singular identity now. And same thing for Fisk. I like that. Still this mirror thing. They're both looking into a mirror. They see who they were, but they're trying not to be that way, or they're trying to get by not being that person. I think when Warren said what he said about Charlie being reckless or being, doing drastic measures and stuff, I don't think that's what it is. I think I think what we're seeing here is his back is being pushed against the wall in both his real life and having to go back to Daredevil. He's being pushed with his back against the wall, and he's like, I had this guy that I saved his life, and then he turned his back on us and said, no, I wasn't there. So now what do? Well, I don't know. I got to do this. And he goes against what he said didn't want to bring up at all. And then it's the same thing. Everything he's doing, like in the last episode, the end of the last episode, he was back against the wall and he had to do something he obviously was trying not to do anymore. So I think that's the biggest thing right now is that those parallels between both him and Fisk right now. Because in this episode, again, we see Fisk talking about doing things that he doesn't want to do, but he's like, let this go, just let this play out. We're not involved with this right now. Basically, it sounds like he just wants all the vermin to be killed off so he can then take back over or something of that sense. But we're seeing them both go against these things that we are used to these characters being. So that's a big part of the writing. The writing's really, really important. And then the ending, may I just say the ending?
Mm-hmm.
One shot, that's enough action. That was perfect action. That was everything you needed to see, and you knew it was coming. That's the thing.
Action.
This episode was written. Does it take more than one shot for action? Does it take more than that necessarily? No. You guys think that. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be more than one shot.
Will you ever say, Chris, that Law and Order is never action? Will you ever say
Indiana Jones one shot with no action scene?
One at a time, guys. One at a time. Go ahead.
He's got a point. He's saying the right thing. When he pulls the gun out and shoots the guy in Indiana Jones, that wasn't action?
No, yeah, come on, Indy.
No, anyways, it was not.
My point is I think that was plenty. And what we revealed at the end there, if that is who we think it is,
it's not.
It's not. We all know it's not.
You say it isn't, but I don't know. We're gonna see.
You saw the size.
It's not. Look at the pattern.
You saw all the stuff.
I understand, but that's something to do with it.
That's
look at the pattern of the soul. It's not him. It's not Frank.
Hey. I'm just saying. Okay.
So hold on. Let me, because I just want to break this narrative that you guys. In storytelling, an action scene refers to a scene where the primary focus is on physical movement, events, and activities of a character, often used to create tension, excitement.
That wasn't physical movement. That wasn't something that created trauma and tension.
A scream. Uh-oh, let's go to the action. Hello.
Really. Danny, your positives.
I got 5 positives. The conflict that Matt is having with himself, I definitely like the way they're doing that, because right now he seems to be all Matt, no Daredevil, and I didn't think he would go that long without being Daredevil. But it's been like a year now, according to the time skip. The conflict between Vanessa and Kingpin, I like that. The dynamic with them, the little discussion they had before the attorney comes in there. I mean, the psychiatrist comes in there. She craving that power, and I think she's playing checkers, and Kingpin is playing chess because he got things planned out way ahead that she just don't see now. And the things he said kind of cryptic to the fans. You know what he's saying? Look. Sometimes it got to be chaos. Sometimes it's got to get real bad before it gets better. So he's trying to put moves in place, and he's not telling her. A little thing he said, "Don't make me stop trusting you." That right there is key, because Adam is dead. He just don't know it yet. But Somewhere in this series, Adam is dead.
Mm-hmm.
The third thing I like the conflict between the DA, the judge, and Matt when Matt kind of flipped the script because I don't think Matt could have won it without doing that. And the little banter between him and the DA, like it don't matter what I'm the king of the DAs. No matter if it's a traffic ticket, I'm gonna make sure they be up your butt. I've seen that in real life, so I like that conflict. Also, like that Matt turned the anger and the disgust for the cops against them because he had cops' testimony and reports saying how the White Tiger did this, did that, this, that, and how he changed the narrative because they were going to go against him. He was going to be guilty. There's no doubt in my mind. So I don't think that there was nothing Karen or Foggy could have done to change that outcome. And the way that he did it and used their own reports and own statements and kind of switched that narrative, I thought that was good storytelling. And then the last thing I liked was the White Tiger on the stand while he was saying, "Why did you do this? It was the right thing to do. Why did you do this? It was the right thing to do." That kind of stuff kept hammering it home, and it was kind of twofold because he was talking to everybody in the courthouse, and he was also talking directly to Matt because right now Matt is in the conflict. He don't want to admit it now, but he's in conflict between trying to be Matt a normal life and trying to be Matt the Daredevil, where he know that the Daredevil is needed, but he just don't want to admit it now because he's too grief stricken.
Absolutely. Jeez,
I remember what the last thing was.
Go ahead.
It was the Koki. The end, the Koki frog. That's an actual frog, by the way. When Hector was talking about Matt and the frogs and the beach and stuff,
And
I love how they just had
the frog.
Dance with the frog singing a tribute to Hector. I loved that scene. I love that closing ending. Yeah, I watched it up to the end of the credits just in case it's in the credit scene, and I heard the Koki. I'm like, oh, that is so cool.
Of course,
it's true too. But it's true when if you go in Puerto Rico, you go on the beaches and you stand there, you sit there, you do hear the frog just like singing with how they call it. It's actually a real cool event. So
yeah, it's a real frog.
And I'll say this. So for my positive, it's the same thing as everybody said. You know what I mean? Like, was it a slow burn episode? Yeah. Was it boring? I wouldn't say it was necessarily. Well, it was kind of boring, but I liked what they were doing with courtroom stuff. Right. That's my positive for this episode is that I think the courtroom stuff was really good. Like when you watch those shows like Law and Order, that's why I call it Law and Order because those shows are designed to make. What's that?
They're well written.
Yeah, exactly. They're designed for those court dramas, the court part, to be as accurate as possible. And I think they did a really good job on that in this episode.
That's
you know
exactly
what I mean?
Right. One of the things too, I like Nzo, they're setting up because I feel quite strongly. His girlfriend is the therapist for Vanessa and Kingpin. Sooner or later that either one, she's going to be a loose string that Kingpin is going to have to get rid of, or two, he's going to find out that's Matt's girlfriend and he's going to take him out. So,
absolutely.
I like the way they set it up.
And you were going to say, Brian?
I was just going to ask guys. So, since you said that one shot is action, does that mean every episode of Law and Order is an action drama?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. That doesn't
make any sense at all. Because in every one of them, someone gets shot or anything. So that one shot makes it all Law and Order action drama.
Nah,
no, it doesn't. Action. Oh my gosh.
All right. So I got a question before we move on to our negatives. It's a two-part question. So there's two parts. Was that Punisher that did the killing at the end? And
no.
Hold on. Let motherfuckers, let me finish the goddamn question, please. Sorry, Danny. Didn't mean use the Lord's name in vain like that, but geez. And the second part was, did Kingpin or did Vanessa put the hit out on White Tiger?
No.
I definitely don't think it's a Punisher. And that's why I'm trying to toss up now because Vanessa acts impulsively because she's like a woman scorned, to my opinion, because I'm running this stuff. You've been gone for X amount of years. You couldn't handle it, whatever. I stepped in, I'm doing it stuff, and now you're taking that power away from me. She don't like that. So I don't know whether or not because she made that deal that he didn't know anything about, and that's when he made the comment, "You don't want me to stop trusting you." So I'm not sure whether or not I want to think Vanessa did it because Kingpin is he's looking at the long game. He's trying to fly under the radar, but when he needs to be the kingpin, like we saw with that sandwich, and he had the picture and stuff. He does it more subtle. He doesn't do it more physical now. So I want to think it's more Vanessa than him. They're doing these violent things.
What if I told you it's neither?
Ooh,
That's what I don't
all
think
right.
it is.
Hold on.
Yeah, I think it's
I'll let you go next.
Chris.
Let Chris go. Let Chris go. Hold on, Eli. You guys will get your turn. Don't worry. Go
Okay.
ahead, Chris.
Okay.
Do I think it's Punisher? No, actually, I don't. But here's what I think: it's a similar skull. Who was the Punisher before he became the Punisher?
Right,
What was he?
Police
A
officer.
Marine.
Exactly. Okay, no, but he was a police officer, Marine. Okay, there's where I'm going. I think that the skulls we're seeing on the police officers and all that is a secret society. And I don't remember exactly the whole backstory of Punisher and the police department and all that. But I think that's a secret society of police officers. And I think if they don't bring back the original Punisher, that's going to play into the Punisher's role, or that's going to explain why the Punisher wears it and all that. And I believe what this is actually the police, the secret society, thinking we're going to take care of this ourselves. That's what I think happened. No, I don't think it's the Punisher, but I do think it's going to lead to either the Punisher being shown or possibly here coming up later on in TV episodes in a different show leading to the Punisher.
So it wasn't the Punisher and it wasn't Vanessa. Okay, good.
No.
Brian.
It's the same thing. It's not the Punisher. It's not the Vanessa. It's literally a cult. It's literally like this Punisher, like these followers. There are police officers. And I think it's the police officers that order the hit overall, and that's what's going on. We're going to find out, and then we're going to see Punisher's going to find out about it, and then he's going to kill some of them because of the copycat stuff. He's going to kill some of them.
Yeah, and we'll get to the comments in a second. Eli, was it Punisher, and did Vanessa or Kingpin do the hit? All right, Eli is muted. Warren.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
It was not Punisher, different skull pattern than what Frank wears. It was not Kingpin or Vanessa, but knowing Fisk, he can take advantage of it, making a statement saying like vigilantes, cop killer getting loose. When I've got vigilante on vigilante crime, and he's going to really step up into this, people can get back on his support. I think it'll be anti-vigilante legislation passed, and that's going to probably end up getting unmasked.
I got you. And Warren, because I got another question after that too.
Oh,
go ahead.
No, Punisher, it's Kingpin because he thrives on chaos.
I got you. Let me get to what Terrence said here real quick, and then I'll go to the other comments before I ask my next question. Said it's not Punisher in the comics. You have Punisher cult who does things that they think Punisher would do. Frank Castle destroyed them in the comics when he found out Punisher hates copycats, corrupt cops, and criminals. Okay, so that's great. All right, so now that we have that established, do you think that Kingpin is going to blame Vanessa, and that's where the mistrust is going to come in? Brian, go first.
I still don't think that he's going to see that. He's not going to start blaming Vanessa until right when Matt starts to put on the Daredevil suit is when he's going to start to distrust Vanessa. As of right now, they're still working on things. They're still going to a therapy session. That's not what's going to stop it. There's something else that's going to happen that's going to make him start to question her, but not this.
I got you. Eli, your thoughts?
No, he's not going to blame Vanessa. Like I said, he's going to see it as a vigilante on vigilante crime and going to get the people riled up. He's going to take advantage of this.
Warren?
No, I don't. Actually, I don't think anything's ever going to happen to Vanessa. They're serious. That's my hot take.
All right. Chris?
Do I think anything's going to happen to her?
No, do you think that this event is gonna make Kingpin not trust Vanessa, and what's gonna cause a conflict?
He doesn't trust her to begin with right now.
So you think this is gonna escalate?
It may lead to more untrust, but I think at the same time, if he says, did you have a hand in this? And she's just gonna say, listen, you called out vigilantes. You are just as guilty of this happening. But I'm not sure he'll call her out. It's up here already. He doesn't trust her already. He's trying to. He wants to. But like I said, at the end of this, at some point in this, either this episode or this season, he's going to be forced either here or if they do a second season, he's going to be forced that she's a problem and he's the only person that can take care of her. That's what I believe.
I
So,
got you.
real quick,
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
real quick for Chris,
Mhm.
do you think it's possible that it's the other crime families that's going to cause him to have to change what he's being right now? The other crime families are going to start pushing a little bit too hard, and he's going to have to take control of it. And that's going to
There's
make
a
Vanessa
possibility
pissed
of that.
off. Yeah, that
There's
will
a
piss her
possibility
off.
of that.
Yeah.
But she's already gone behind his back by saying, I already, sent somebody after, I went to these other guys and said, you got to pay 1.2 to rectify the
Yeah.
situation. So she's already gone behind his back. That's not helping him. Thinking, well, wait, why'd you do that? So I think everything is going to make him think he's got to do it, and that he has to come back and take control of everything again. But he might do it in a way we're not expecting. He may do it as trying to look as much as like a legitimate mayor as possible,
Yeah,
but
he definitely will.
underhandedly using the heavy hand.
Got you. And Danny, what do you
Mhm.
think? You there, Danny? Danny probably stepped away. Terrence Alonso, when I saw that, I was like, oh shit. The Punisher called Frank is gonna wreck them. Something wicked. Punisher would never slay a good man. Hector, White Tiger is a good man. Not Punisher. It will be the other cops, and the real Punisher will come to take care of the imposter. I agree. Anzo, I would love it if they have the balls to show Punisher taking out corrupt cops. Let's go, Marvel. Step this up further. I think they'll show enough. You know what I mean? I really do, because they're supposed to stay true to the Netflix ones. So it might not be as bloody and stuff, but they may show him taking out a few cops.
Yeah, but it's
Vanessa's going.
worrisome that you don't want someone to become a copycat and you feel like you have caused this copycat part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that would be something that they will be worried about, because I wouldn't want that either. You know, you could have problems. Everyone has problems with some things, but you don't want to have that copycat thing happen, and then now someone's taken out because of you promoting it on your show.
I agree 100%. Vanessa is going to expose herself into the crime scene at the worst moment for Fist, and that's how he's going to turn on her. Anzo, considering Vanessa in the comics, how Foggy cover up his death, Kingpin was already upset with his wife. They're just layers to how quick and what he does to act. I got you. Power has always been Vanessa's love. Said Anzo, they are pulling heavy from the comics to my surprise. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from, which
really
is
are.
good, because we know from X-Men 97, when you pull from the comic books, you get quality ass shows. You know what I mean? So definitely hope they continue with that. We're going to get into the negatives now. And I just want to read Basil's negative real quick. I skipped over it because we weren't there now. But Basil said, negatives: Vanessa being power hungry, White Tiger not even have a chance to fight before being killed, and the ex-cop acting like a low-key vigilante sidekick. I got you. Warren, what are your negatives for this episode?
Negatives. First of all, I thought that cop should have been dead with the way he fell on his neck. Like, how do you, how do you get, like, what are you? You must be Batman, because the way his neck went to the ground, I'm like, how? I see you walk, like, that was already a negative. Okay, first, because he should have been dead.
Use
I'm
the
sorry.
sound effect for neck cracking too?
They did,
Yeah,
yeah.
celery.
Yeah,
celery.
So to me, he should not even have been walking. Like, I don't know, man. That was weird.
They're just gonna say it was his fingers. He was cracking his knuckles. That's what they're gonna
say. Too much too much courtroom White Tiger, not enough of knowing of White Tiger. What I mean is, like, we didn't get to see. Like, I'm not saying I want to see the full origin, but we didn't. I would have loved to see White Tiger and Daredevil have teamed up during like that whole, like, at least. And this is what goes back to what Brian said about how we're not seeing the action. Like, that would have just been cool just to get that one interaction if we could have got it. Well, Kingpin is too tamed. He's being too tamed. Like, he's not. He's like, you could tell that he's like kind of. You know, when you're angry and you start to hold your fist because you're just holding that anger in. He's too tame. He's holding it back, like, and we're starting to see he's doing things on the side, but it's too tamed. And I think that this episode personally should have been a later episode. This shouldn't have been like an episode 3. This should have been like an episode 5 or 6 or something like this. I don't I just don't agree with this being, because we're not getting enough Daredevil already, and then you just keep layering it on. Like, yeah, so that's my biggest negatives, is that we're not getting other things from characters. And again, Ben Urich's niece, we don't even know how did his niece all of a sudden wants to become a reporter. Like, there must have been a reason. We don't even get like a little snippet of that, like, oh, my uncle died, maybe something. Now maybe I'm getting a little bit too much into the detail, but that's kind of important, because why would your niece want to take up your mantle, because that was an important reporter. So those are my negatives, to be quite honest. That's it.
I got you. And you know what? To your point, I'll say we could probably find out why later on in other episodes. So that's still yet to be seen. But one thing I will say that would have made this episode better, like you said, if instead of telling us what White Tiger did, showing us, right? Showing us him beating up some villains, showing us doing some stuff instead of telling us, that would have made this episode a lot better, because then you would have threw some action in there. Right,
dude. That's what I was gonna say.
That's what they should have did.
Dude, that's exactly where I'm at too.
I was gonna say that when Matt was reading the courts, he should have had a little montage of him doing some fighting scenes. I'm like, okay, with the voiceover. I'm like, that would have been more appropriate than him just standing there reading out of paper. I'm like, come on.
Absolutely.
That's what I was gonna say, man.
Look at Daddy.
Danny's just showing how I watched the episode last week. That's exactly how I watched it. Hold on.
Y'all finished yet?
Almost, Danny. Hold on, because this clown came in here and said, where is he? This shows how much of an MCU trash critic you are, Nzo. Hates Dark Knight for being too grounded, but somehow Daredevil's tight, right? Warren say peace to the horses. Okay, whatever the hell that last shit means, but I never once said that this was tight, nerd man. I said it's okay. I can see immediately when Nzo has seen my comments, the grimace on his face. Yeah, because we already know that you're coming in here to talk some bullshit. All right, we don't need to hear that shit. All right, Eli, negatives.
Well, you already said one thing I was going to say. The second thing, Matt Murdock needs to be disbarred for being a bad lawyer. I mean, intent and is the exact same thing as was it entering something as evidence? Submission. Intent is the same thing as submission. He did not intend to do that, Your Honor. Bullshit. It was your idea. You did that without your permission of your client. You should be disbarred for that. You misled the court itself. That I'm like, what the hell is going on with this thing?
You need to stop smoking whatever you're smoking too.
No, that's not how that works.
Someone has to make
asked for it to be suppressed. If he decides to let it in, then it becomes fair game. He can still let it in.
But he did not inform his client he was going to do that. That's why he should be disbarred.
No, but if the client's not complaining, if the client doesn't complain about the move that the lawyer, if the client understands the lawyer, hey, you had to make a decision, then it's okay.
Now, if Hector stood up and said, "Wait a minute, Your Honor, I don't know what this guy's doing. I'm asking to call this day, call recess. I want a new lawyer."
Yep. Then action could come upon him, but without him complaining, there's no action that's going to come upon him. My sister's a lawyer.
So, for example, to explain, there was something with the Jonathan Major case where the judge had said, "We'll leave it out." Mm-hmm. But what happened was Jonathan lawyers opened it up to where they were able to bring other stuff involved in the case, right? So yes, it can happen. It's just the way he did it was kind of messed up, but I don't think it was illegal for what he did. Go ahead.
It's the same way, like if you don't want to get on the stand to incriminate yourself, you don't have to. But if you choose to get on that stand, then you're in trouble. It works in the reverse the same way.
Yep,
gotcha. Eli, continue.
The hardcore action scene at the very end of the movie, that was really tough, man. I'm like, I had me on the nails of my seat. What the hell was this? Boom, boom, boom. No more White Tiger. Wow. Thanks for the lead up, guys. I was looking forward to some action scenes with him and Daredevil.
Yep. So here's what Terrence said. Onzo, let me tell you what I didn't like. Even though Hector is taken out in the comics, it shouldn't have happened so quickly. He should have been around longer. Good episode otherwise. Brian, near negatives.
Well, I told you guys at the beginning that it's good, but you should have action. You could put in action along with all this stuff. You don't have to just leave it as words. You can use it, in action points. So you could have done that. So that was my point from the beginning with that. I do think some of the courtroom stuff is not exact the way things how it really goes, but it's neither here nor there. I think the idea of I still don't like the magic part. If you're going to keep something grounded, I don't want to hear about your amulet. That's just me. That's just my pet peeve. I understand that's not for everybody else, but I don't like those things. I think if you're going to do one thing, do that thing. Don't try to do 3 things at the same time. So it's grounded, but this one thing is magical. That doesn't work for me. But and then I think it's
because Spider-Man's in there. They mentioned Spider-Man.
Well, but he's not. He's bitten by a radioactive spider. It's a little bit different, but using a magical amulet in the thing that you're trying to be very grounded just doesn't necessarily work for me.
Okay, well, how about the Defenders when Iron Fist?
But
it's the worst one.
Well, hey man, they leaned into it. They leaned back into it though this time because he talks about the amulet giving him extra power. Why would he go into this fight without it? Those things. So they're leaning back into it, and that's one of the things I did like about this is they lean back in towards it because before this they're like, oh, let's not talk about it. Maybe the way that they leaned back into it wasn't quite. I don't know, cohesive enough, but whatever.
It's not because you're trying to be very. This is like real world, and when we have vigilantes type of drama, and then you're inviting this other magical part to it. So, like, keep it separate. It can still exist in the world. That's fine, but don't bring it out in the courtroom drama like this is something that will happen in court. This is not something you will bring up. It's not about having magic or not having magic. This is that you're bringing it up like it's a grounded thing. It's not grounded then. That's just
no. I agree. Go ahead.
But wait, you are in the MCU though. This is a part of the world. They would already know that this type of thing happened. 100. So it's fine to bring it up. But I do get where you're going with the way that they're playing the game right now, playing the episodes out. It's very clunky how they brought it back.
See,
so
the first 2
that's all.
The first 2 seasons didn't really have anything to do with magic or anything like that, and then all of a sudden, boom! Because it's a part of the MCU now, you want to throw a little bit of magic in there. So I can kind of understand where you're coming from with that.
What?
Anything else, Brian?
No, I mean I thought this was a good episode. It's fine. I just want action and don't be clunky about the way you do magic. Man, you can introduce it a different way, but you don't introduce it in with a judge. I don't think that's the way I want to do it. But that's just
I got you.
I just want to say something super quick. You do realize that there was magic, not for you, Brian. I'm saying magic was always in Daredevil, even the season 1 too, because of the hand, right?
Yes, but they're introducing it with the judge. That's why I didn't like. That's understand what I'm saying. Like you're bringing it in like as a common knowledge with a judge when you can't prove it's just magical. Like if that's the case, then all this kind of goes down the crapper. You can just bring magic within everything else. But if you're keeping it grounded every other way, except when you're talking about a judge, you want to make it as an actual point for the judge as far as the law goes. I don't know if I like that. I just didn't.
I got you. Chris? Negatives? You muted.
So what Brian said was, I mean, that's very valid on the way they should have done the courtroom scene. When he's talking about these things, they should have definitely had it where you see him doing it while he's talking, at least, at the very least. If not, bring up the person, bring one of the police officers up as a witness and then start talking to them and then have them remember it and actually go into the scene, hear what happened and all that, instead of hearing them talk. I mean, either one of those would have been definitely better. Don't get me wrong. As with the ending, it would have been better had they at least let White Tiger fight 2 or 3 of these people. So, like, one of them comes, tries to get him, from behind, he fights him off. Then another one comes, and then he just gets overtaken. Next thing you know, someone pulls out a gun. Boom, boom, boom. Done. That would have been a better way to kill him off. I mean, if you look at my little comment underneath my name this time, I mean, if you want to put my big screen real quick, my thing says, "Did we have to kill the cancer patient?" I mean, that it's like, did we have to do that right now? No, we didn't. And there's definitely would have been a better way of the use of the
Yeah,
character.
they had to kill him, Curious.
I know. Well, he's not going to live past it. Well, he's not. Well,
Or there'd been another recast of White Tiger.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be his niece, like in the comics.
But my point though is that how you take out a character is just as important as how you use a character. And if you're going to take a character out, you got to be really particular. And the way they did it was a little too easy. I don't know if I also agree with the fact that they had him going out right after the court case, because he should have known that he's going to have a target on his back.
It's
And
the right thing
Matt
to do.
Specifically, oh, I know, but Matt specifically looked at him and says, "Hey, that part of your life's got to be over." And I think Matt's trying to help him reconnect with his wife. I think that's one of the reasons why his wife and him are having problems, just because he's always out doing this stuff, and she's worried for him, and he just doesn't seem to have a way of stopping. And now we're probably going to see a little more of that about why she did it, or she's going to come to him and blame Matt for it. Another reason why he's going to be pushed further towards he doesn't want to be Daredevil, but he has to be. Those things. But definitely the way you kill him should have been done better.
And
it just should have been done better. So,
and to your point too, right? Like you said, he just it's not like he went out there to fight a crime. He put on the suit and he was just walking down the street willy-nilly like it was nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if you had at least had him like fighting somebody or seeing something and going to put on the suit and then going to fight, then I'd have been like, okay, that makes more sense. But it was like he was happy to get out. He popped on the suit and was walking down the street doing nothing. Like
you
a regular
it
old
was
Joe.
A setup. It could have been a setup from the beginning.
Right, you know what would have been perfect right then? If they had done like a Spider-Man 3 Peter Parker scene where he's walking around like, doing the discus drive or something.
No.
We don't. That's about what I'm saying is that's about as weird of a scene is because you're right. He's walking right down the middle of the sidewalk and it's like you're not even going to try to hide.
Yeah. Danny, what are your negatives?
My only negative, I did not like the way.
You muted.
Yeah, you muted again. Or your mic went out. Yeah, your mic went out. Can't hear you. No. All right. You said it popped back in. All right. So let me go with my negatives until Danny comes back. Same thing with all of you guys, right? I do think that it was not enough action in this episode. As much as the courtroom drama stuff was good, it was just slow. It was really like, okay, are we going to see Daredevil or are we not? You know what I mean? And now I'm like Brian, like definitely not next episode. I'm thinking like episodes. Someone said 7. My pick was 8, but someone said they seen pictures of episode 7 where
how many
he's in the
episodes
suit.
is this?
I'm saying
9
the end of 5, he puts the mask on, and we see him actually be at 6.
Okay.
How many episodes is it again?
9.
I'm saying we might see it next episode, maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe.
I don't think next episode.
Well, you don't think that him getting killed and he blaming himself for calling him out?
We might just see the episode. We might just see the outfit, but not him in it.
I think
maybe.
I think something's gonna have to happen to his girl for him to do that. I think for him to put on the suit, something's gonna have to happen to her. Danny, you good? Oh no, Danny popped back out.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
It's all good. Another thing that I didn't like is after they kill him, they walk away. But yet we know that his power comes from the amulet. So nobody decided to take the amulet off of his dead body. They just left it there. Like, okay, yeah, boom, he's dead. Now, what the hell kind of power does the amulet give him? Right?
Yeah.
Because he's obviously not bulletproof. So you know what I mean? Like what?
Maybe we don't know
So-
yet.
Enhanced speed, enhanced strength.
Okay, so yeah, okay.
But
That's
why
what
wouldn't you
you're
just take it?
You know what I mean? Like it because if you know that there's those kind of limitations, you're gonna be extremely careful as well, right? Because you could still die. Yes, you got speed, you got power, but you can't stop a bullet, right? That's exactly what happened. So I was just like, man, you should not have been. That court case was done. You should have took your family and you should have moved, right? Because you
Yeah, get out of New
already know
York.
that those cops are corrupt, and no matter what happens, those corrupt cops are going to come after you and your family constantly. They were ready to freaking kill Matt Murdock, who's a lawyer, in the episode before. So what do you think they are going to do to you, right? So
Anzo, like I said last week, the corrupt cops have access to that magical amulet in lockup. But that makes no sense. Why would that
No, they
happen?
didn't. No, they did not. Because they found it at his apartment. Matt Murdock's investigator found it at the apartment, so that they grabbed it. They had it. Nobody else had it.
That's true.
I got you.
Then nobody mentioned where the amulet was or anything.
Well, but it didn't have to. He had the mask. That's all he had it with him at the trial. But
Danny?
to your point, Anzo, real quick.
Yeah.
You're right. That's a big problem I had, and I said it, is the fact that he just first night, second night, whatever it is, a week later, he decides, I'm going to put it back on. I'm going to go out. It's like again, I mean, maybe 5-6 months later, if he's still in the area, maybe then. But I mean, this is obviously really quickly after. So I totally agree with that. I was surprised myself. I said, what the hell is he doing?
Danny, can you hear? I think we can hear you if you talk. Say something. Maybe not. All right, let me get to some of these comments real quick. We'll get to our grades and our overalls. Yeah, I know. Terrence said another thing I didn't like is granted they're pulling heavy from the Call Me Born Again storyline, and Matt does get down on his luck. There was still a bunch of fighting. Yeah, absolutely, Terrence. Is that Danny in here?
Yep. I see the little icon.
Okay, yeah. So Danny's mic is working. I'll just mute him until he comes back. Anzo, as much as I like the show, they are missing some epic things. I agree, Terrence.
Yeah.
My negative is Anzo likes it. Shut up, nerd man. Anzo, that comment above is what I really wanted to see with Whole Tiger. That I'm bummed out they didn't show it. No, I agree. People are aware of magic in the MCU.
Well, yeah, and we're not saying that they're not aware of it. What we're saying is the first part of these episodes, they're trying to really keep it way down. And now they're leaning like just in one scene. Boom, here, your magic amulet, blah, 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 and it's like all at once. And while I said, if you're going to have it, you got to lean into it. Because the problem is we had too much Law and Order, not the MCU. And we went from a lot of Law and Order to boom, MCU. And it's like it was jarring. I totally agree that was not the way to do it. They were right to do it where they asked to suppress it, where they were in there with the judge. The next thing should have been is, can we approach the bench, Your Honor? Go in and approach the bench. Talk to him. Hey, can we talk in your chambers in private? I need to introduce this. This is now a viable reason for me to introduce this. And now lean into it a little bit at first. Is there another reason why you stepped in? Is there another reason? And he doesn't want to say. He's like, it's just the right thing to do. Sort of thing. Was it the right thing to do because that's what you do as the boom white tiger, and then kind of lean into it a little more, and maybe get to the amulet as the night went on. But it was just so much boom, boom.
And then you don't really get a good explanation of what the amulet does. You know what I mean? So at least if they had showed some fighting, we could have got to see that. Danny, let's go with your negatives, brother. What you got?
My biggest negative was, oh my God.
No, we can hear you.
We can hear you. You're a little deep, but we can hear you.
All right. what's going on? I'm not familiar with the White Tiger at all. And I looked up what his powers are. One of his powers is, well, he has strength, speed, reflexes, and he has heightened senses. So you mean to tell me his heightened senses didn't detect that guy or something?
Exactly. But they did kind of show that he noticed something was going on because he looked both ways real quick.
Yeah, he can hear that, but he should be able to detect that guy.
Yes.
To me, I thought that was.
I don't disagree.
Kind of like the radar sense that Daredevil has. Maybe not to that extent, but he should have heard the breathing or maybe the heartbeat or something like that. And he just walk willy-nilly. So that's a big thing. Like, nah. But I really think they did that because they did not want to go through this recast White Tiger. I mean, I said it as a joke, but right now, man, if you kill somebody, it's gonna be hashtag recast this. Why did they do this? So now they go ahead and they nip that in the bud. I hate that they do it. I don't know if it was insensitive, but to me, that's what makes sense. Like, okay, but
from what I heard, Danny,
this takes all chances out of them bringing the character back.
But what I heard, Danny, is that he died after he filmed the scenes.
Yeah.
So that
for all we know, that could have been a recast. I mean, that could have been a reshoot.
For all we know that. They said no, it wasn't, but they could have known that he was sick, and that's why they did it. They could have known that, right? Yeah.
Well, his original being killed off was originally planned in the show. Then he filmed his scenes, went home, went to the hospital, ended up dying.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely agree with the person that said. I think it was Terrence said it in the chat. They shouldn't have come off that early. Should at least see him 2 more episodes. But I think I was reading something about it that he was in so much pain. I don't know whether he could have done it or not. It probably would have been his stunt double. But for all we know, that was his stunt double in the mask. Once he put the mask on,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%. And that's what you're exactly, Danny. So even if let's say they didn't kill him off and he died, they still could have used the stunt double for some action scenes. You know what I mean? So they still could have. Yeah, it wouldn't have been any different. So I agree with you there. Anzo, let's be real. Even though the hand was introduced in the Netflix martial arts, it was extremely grounded compared to the comics. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Terrence. 100%. Anzo, sure, Hector's sister is more popular, but they didn't have to take him out that fast. No fight scene at all. Did you see my other issue? Yeah, Terrence, we seen them. 100%. It seems lazy, like they didn't want to have to choreograph an awesome fight scene with White Tiger. I know, Dandelion. It would have been so good to see him do something, at least to be like, okay, so we got some kind of action in this. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have mattered if it was a flashback or a montage of him saving people and killing. You know, at least we would have got a sense of how he fought and, you know, stuff like that. So I agree with you. When you have Doctor Strange that used to live in another borough, you know magic is this. But I agree that the way the judge so casually mentioned it was not good writing. Said episode 7 or 8 for the suit. I agree. Anzo, considering Karen is trash in the comics because she literally told a drug dealer Matt is Daredevil to get her fix. I got you. Anzo, check out my issue with White Tiger. No, I got you, Terrence. I got you. BB will accidentally inform Fist about Matt and his relationship with his psych. Does BB know?
No.
I don't think she knows yet, but she may find out. She may find out because Kingpin already said he's going to use her for his benefit, right? So, yeah. Anzo, because that issue I had, if they had done that, White Tiger would have gone down as one of the most beast characters. Yeah, they should have did something with him. We should have seen some sort of fighting with him. You know what I mean? Anything. It would have been a lot better than what we got. Anzo, if you can try to see my comment about what I wanted to see from White Tiger, if I need to, I can type it again. No problem.
Dude, that's the third time you mentioned that. He saw it before already. Okay, stop it.
I go through the comments, T. Don't worry, Eli. I got it. Don't worry.
You're not just fucking with T, man.
Yeah. If he had gotten taken out that easy, he would have been killed long before this. Ooh, that's a good point too.
And all they had to do, wouldn't it have been better if he sacrificed himself to save someone?
Somebody, yeah.
And that's all it will take. Like you see him running, you hear someone screaming, and you know the only thing he could do was sacrifice himself to save this little girl or whatever. That would have been a more fitting death and would have made sense in the show. You didn't have to. You would have done so much better just by doing it. I mean, he would have died for somebody, died for what he believed in.
Absolutely. And even the way they did it with the guy coming up and shooting him and then walking away with the Punisher shirt, like people speculating that his Punisher don't do stuff like that. You know what I mean? He hits you straight on. You know what I mean? He's coming at you straight on. He's not going to hide in the cut and then pull out a gun and shoot you like that. So that's why I was like, they could have done that in such a better way that it would have been more interesting. You know what I mean? So that's just me. Said Nzo, Hector got his amulet from Kung Lin, the same place that Danny Reed trained to become Iron Fist. That gives him extra strength, speed, martial arts skills of mystical nature. I got you. Nzo, fight scene with Daredevil versus White Tiger before they come to terms would have been epic. That's also could have been brought up in Iron Fist in current times. Why they do Hector like that? Because Hector was a plot device for Daredevil. Everything Hector was saying on the stand is exactly what Matt Murdock is going through, right? He knows it's for the good of the people why he does what he does as Daredevil, right? But he's conflicted because there's a lot of people dying and Fozzie dying. So that's the reason why White Tiger was there. It wasn't for any action scenes or anything like that. It was just to give us some context of what Matt Murdock is going through without Matt Murdock actually telling us what he's going through. So those are definitely my negatives for the show. Again, we're going to get through our grades and predictions for the next episode. They done him dirty for sure. Absolutely, Dandelion. Danny, your grade and your predictions for next episode.
I'm going to give this a B+. I think we're going to see some more interaction with Kingpin and Vanessa kind of battling each other, and then probably Matt's girl getting more involved. Probably going to see BB a little bit more. You're probably not going to see. We may see a little bit of Daredevil action because he's a little ticked off because White Tiger got killed, not in the suit. We see him use his powers like you seen earlier to track down that guy that lied about the cops roughing him up. You may see someone doing like the flips and then fighting that kind of stuff, but we're not going to see him in the suit, not this soon. But we might see Kingpin do a little bit more dirty stuff. But we're going to see the story is going to start pushing us where we're going to see that confrontation definitely between him and Daredevil. Matt and Wilson at this time.
I got you. Chris?
You know, I was just thinking of something that Fisk says. He says, let's see what the chief of police will do. And I'm wondering now if he already knew they were going to do this. Like, he didn't make them do it, but he already knows about this little group of vigilantes within the police department or something. Take it easy, T. I'm kind of wondering about that now. It's like he says it just in a very calm, like, you know, we're gonna call the chief up and see what he's gonna do about this or what he wants to do about this or something. I don't remember the exact line, but he did say that. And then this happens as he's talking to BB. And so I'm kind of wondering if he already knew that this was going on or that this might happen. Anyways, I agree with Danny, B+. I wonder if we're not going to get him on a rooftop in the outfit at the end of the next episode. I'm not saying we're going to actually see him be like out there, but I'm kind of wondering if we'll see it. Yeah, 6, maybe. 7, 8. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying maybe. But definitely we're going to start seeing Vanessa trying to. Vanessa's been itching. She's been itching to put her hands back in this, to get control of this back. And she's already done it now once by saying, I sent a message saying, you know, pay the $1.2 million. And she used the what he said. I can't remember what's his name.
Use his helper.
Yeah, well, it's Fisk's aide. It's his It's the
Yeah.
mayor's aide. And yet, when he walks his face, says, "I don't work for the mayor. I work for the man." I think he means Vanessa. I think Vanessa's using him to keep an eye on Fisk.
Mm.
I think she's using him to heavy hand these other people because they didn't question him, and we all know who we think he is. If that's who it is, then they know too. I think.
I don't think he want to cross Fisk. Cause you see you see when he walk in the room, how everybody cleared out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Adam?
Yeah, that's power.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna find out, but I definitely think that those types of dynamics are already getting set up for that. I'm interested in that. I think we're gonna start seeing a pickup on the action. I think they used the White Tiger stuff to do the courtroom stuff, and I think now that that's done, we're not gonna see it much anymore. I think it's gonna be more him and the girlfriend, and something with Fisk and the wife with the girlfriend, like like something gets said, or or they see a picture with him, or something like that. We're leaning into that way. We're going to start heading towards the culmination of everything hitting ahead. If it happens at the end of the season, I don't know, because I don't know if they're going to do a second season. It's good enough for a second season as long as they land whatever ending they plan on doing.
I got you. Well, there kind of is a second season because 10
And
to
the third.
18 is the second
Yeah.
season. But
And
let
the
me
third.
get to Terrence said before I get to Eli. He said, Onzo, I give it an A because they got the character's personality rights along with the courtroom drama that comes with Daredevil. If they just had more fighting, it would be next level, but still good despite my preferences. And Basel said, prediction, you will see the narrative of the good vigilante will die down with the death of Hector, and it will force Punisher to have to clear his name and Matt trying to help him. I got something for that when I get to that, my part. Eli, your prediction. Grade and prediction. Oh, he said his grade is a B+. Cool. Grade and prediction.
That's my grade, B+.
Okay.
Well, like I was trying to say at the beginning, so you correct me, thank you, earlier. They are a mirror of each other. You see Fisk doing good for the city and Matt doing good for himself. Like, normally it's the other way around. And this is where it's going to be developing, where we're going to end up seeing Matt in the black outfit at the end. Like, he's going to be full on just hardcore, because he no longer has Foggy, his conscience, his moral compass. He no longer has nobody to guide him, to center him. He doesn't have Father, he doesn't have Karen, he doesn't have Foggy. Nobody. But there's got to be some explanation about those knuckles on Fisk. Like, what the hell has he been hitting?
He got somebody because Cherry.
I think that he's keeping his word by not killing Adam, but using it as a punching bag. And basically put inside a punching bag, just hitting him. And basically he's like, hey, yeah, make sure Adam gets a home. I think that's going to be an explanation. He's not killing him. He's keeping his word to his true love. He's just
I think
beating
Cherry's
him up.
is going to replace Foggy and Karen.
Cherry's not a moral compass. Cherry's just a informative. That's all he is to Matt. He doesn't treat him as a moral compass like Foggy did, because Foggy and him were bros, and ever since Foggy found out he was Daredevil, he's been his moral compass. Matt just totally did a 180 because remember season 1, Matt did whatever he wanted. Sorry, Father, they did whatever he wanted. Now it's Foggy. It's like, oh, you're right, Foggy. This is wrong. I can't do this. He has nobody to lean on, so he's going to go to the downhill part. He's going to end up wearing the black.
First off, I don't think you're wrong necessarily with the fact of where Matt's going. I definitely think he's kind of in a lost state. Like, he's being forced. If you remember in the very first episode of the Netflix show, he says, my mom always said that his last name, and my brain just went dead.
Murdock?
Matt Murdock. So, my mom always said the Murdock boys had the devil in them. And so I think this is where this is his dad getting punched too many times, and he's about ready to just let it all out. And no, I don't necessarily agree with you on the Fisk thing. He's playing like he's helping people, but he's still doing something. It's still got that feel that he's hiding something, even from his wife and everything. You mentioned the heavy hands on the desk. Every once in a while, he's like, and stuff like that. he is already losing his mind about this stuff, but he's trying to hold on. He's trying to hold on. So they're mirroring each other. They're trying to play a part. They're not really. And that's what I think is really going to happen. I think it's going to come to a head with them at least somehow. I don't know if it's going to make it at the end of the season or not, but I'm just saying, I don't think he's playing the good guy. I think he's trying to, the image is I'm playing the good guy, but he's already doing something. What it is, I don't know.
Yeah, he's already
Brian.
blackmailing the commissioner. Yeah, he's a bad guy still, but he's doing things for the city itself, not for himself.
No. He's doing it in the public eye. He
Okay.
did he got out of the construction site, not because he wanted to fix the problem necessarily. Of course, it helped him, but he did it because he knew that people would see him doing it.
All right.
Again, it's
Moving on.
optics, like that episode. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's it. No problem.
Okay.
Brian. Because I
give
got
the
something to
episode-
say and I got a question. That's why. Go ahead, Brian.
I got an episode of B. I think it's good. Like I think that's the definition of good. It's not B plus, not A minus. It's not. It's just a B. It's a good episode that you could have made an A by doing a few tweaks that would have really been epic for this episode. As far as what I can see coming, I believe it's going to take Frank actually to get Matt into the actual suit. It's going to take Frank prodding him and having that conversation, very similar, mirroring what they did in previous seasons of Daredevil. I think that's what's going to actually happen.
Yeah.
So for that to happen, that means we have to have episode 4 and even maybe half of 5 to get it. And then he'll think about putting it on. And even by the end of 5, maybe he puts on the suit, but we don't see any action. And then 6, all of a sudden we get Daredevil stuff. So 6, 7, 8, 9, we get Daredevil. But it takes some time for it to grow gradually. If you're going to do a slow burn, you're not going to change it that quickly. Just not. So
you know what? I hate you because you said exactly what I was going to say, but I'll say it a little bit more. Warren, grades and what do you think is going to happen in that next episode? Predictions.
So I think for a grade, I'll give it a B minus. I can't give it any higher than that. Predictions. I know you guys don't like this, but I believe we're gonna get our first flashback in the next episode, because we tend to get flashbacks in MCU stuff. So I have a feeling we might get our first flashback. So call me a prophet on that one. We probably will see Matt fight, but it'll be like when he had the black mask on, not Daredevil, but just like put something over his face so that he can apprehend criminals or whatever. So we'll see him fighting, but it's not Daredevil. It's just Matt Murdock doing, like, say, okay, I can't let this go on. I have to do something. And then other than that, I will probably see Frank towards the end of the episode. And yeah, that's all I got.
I got you. So for me, my grade is I'm gonna give it a C plus, right? Because again, I like to see a lot more action and stuff than that, even though it wasn't a bad episode. I'll give it a C plus. My prediction is kind of like on Brian's point. We're gonna see Punisher doing all the action in the next couple of episodes, right? That's what it's gonna be because they're bringing him in there. So it's gonna be him that's gonna be finding out, who the cops are, or who did this and who did that, and Matt's gonna probably be doing it from the law side of things, right? And like you said, yeah, it's gonna take Punisher to help him put back on the suit. So I agree with you 100%. So I'm saying, I know you say 6. I'm saying the last. I'll even go with the last 3, 7, 8, 9. We get him as Daredevil. You know what I mean? The last 3 episodes. Let me go through these comments and then we can close it up. It was a great roundtable. Thank you guys. But Terrence said, Nzo, another good scene would be Punisher telling Daredevil, you see what happens when you're nice? You see what happens when you don't clean up the scum? Yeah, pretty much. Nzo, I know they're not going to do it, but I wish we could see Daredevil interact with Stick again. Like I heard about Foggy, but you got to get your mind right. Stick has survived crazy stuff in the comics. I thought Stick died, though.
Yeah, he died.
He did.
He did.
Yeah, he died, right?
But that's why he's saying,
Yeah.
do something.
Okay,
crazy.
Yeah.
You mean Miyagi him like they did in Karate Kid?
Something like that, maybe. Danny, Here's this clown. Danny, Eli, Brian, Chris, I know you have class. Don't feel for you to hang out with this really, really old man and Warren, aka horse lover, out of some charitable service to humanity. Fuck you, nerd man. All right. Go suck a lady boy's cock.
What is he
All
talking
right.
about?
he's being a fool. He's being a fool.
He's trying to be an American.
Say again?
I can hear your TV in the
Oh,
background.
sorry.
It's okay. Nzo, Matt Murdock has always been aggressive, but he would combat stuff with the church all the time. Due to him not agreeing with the gentle approach, he's not Punisher, but he ain't no angel either. No, I got you 100%.
Yeah, he even said he hasn't been to mass in a while. So yeah, he's going away from the church.
100%. Nzo, have Frank Castle slap the shit out of Matt. Stop this court shit. Put on the suit. You're a damn hero. Act like it. Facts. 100%. Look at the ego on Warren. Call me a prophet. I do not worship horse idols. Nerdman, are you on crack? Right? Did you do some bad crack tonight, and that's why you on here talking crap? Huh?
Yeah, the horse reference. I'm not getting the horse reference.
What you need to do, right, is stop letting them lady boys take advantage of you.
Bye, Chris. What happened to Chris? Where'd Chris go?
He probably got kicked out. He'll come back. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 100%. You just stop letting these lady boys take over you because they're drugging you, they're taking your money. You know what I mean? That's why you ain't been streaming so long. Is because you got a dick up here.
On that note, what has Dandelion said?
I'm down with Punisher action. Action is action. No, I agree with you 100%. At least we'll get some sort of action in it, right? But you know, again, it's Daredevil, not Punisher. So, Nzo, Punisher, you effed up 100%. Great round table. Thanks, guys. Thumbs up, guys. Appreciate you, nerd man. It's always a pleasure. Can't wait till you get back on one of these streams so I can trash you in person like I always do. But it was a great show. We are going to close it up for the night. Thank you, everybody that came into the chat. Terrence, Dandelion, Basel. Who else was up here? Creighton. Did I say his name right, Danny? Creighton?
Yep. Yeah, it's Creighton.
Creighton. Coach Gabe was up in here. Thank you guys for coming in. Tony Robinson, Basel. I appreciate all you guys 100%. And then this clown, the nerd man, was up in here as well. I don't appreciate you, but at least you came in. Danny, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
You can find me on Mondays and Fridays at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on my channel, Road to Wisdom. Or you got one upload for tomorrow, so please check it out and catch me on Wednesdays, sometime on OOC with Nzo and his crew. The Hangout with Guy Scar, DJ, and the rest of the crew. And Sundays at Storms Live, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Rob Storm with Rob Storm.
Yes. Make sure to check it out on the OOC. We are going to talk about the Anthony Mackie thing because I think that's going to be a very interesting topic. So that will be fun to watch. Make sure you check that out. Mr. Knight, where can they find you, sir?
Real Review 3000. Right now we're doing the Unmasking the Masked Singers stuff, and it's a pretty good season. I don't know if you guys watch it, but if you don't, kind of maybe take a look at it. It's a lot less hectic or chaotic as it has been in the past few seasons. I know Danny's watching it, so we're having a good time texting back and forth talking about that. So check that out. And here, so you can find me here on Big Forward Entertainment for things like this and for the rankings, and sometimes over on the Road to Wisdom for the same things, and sometimes Square One, which hopefully maybe we'll have one of those coming up here soon. I don't know. Anyways, check us all out. Everybody else deserves a look at. Spoiler Kings, Elihu and his science stuff, even if it isn't your thing, he's actually pretty fun to watch at times. I know I might be crazy, but I'm saying that. And then
you are, but still.
Then there's Warren, and well, since you can't find him anywhere, don't worry about it. Anyway, no, but thank you for having me on. So I appreciate all you guys. Great episode.
I appreciate
Great
it.
talk.
Stick around at the end for a second. I got something for you guys. Eli, shout out your channel. Where can I find you?
You guys can find me at all the socials under this name exactly right here. See? Yep, just like that. Yep. X, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, various other channels, and I want to apologize again for not live streaming the eclipse because I finally got my adapter with my telescope so I can do some live streaming. But we got clouds all week, so sorry guys, no live streaming. I was trying to, but I cannot control the weather. I'm not one of those hardcore Democrats. Okay, I do not control the weather, guys. So when we got clear skies up here, you guys can see some astrophotography and some live moonshots and other stuff like that. Okay, but clear weather. You got to be patient, please.
Got you, Brian. Where can they find you, sir?
On 1/3 of Spoiler Kings, we go live Mondays and Thursdays at 9:30. We're doing our last Severance watch party on Thursday night. This coming up Thursday night, and then we'll do a breakdown on Saturday. Then me and Hans will be doing our From breakdown on Tuesday. That's 8 Eastern. So I mean that's all fun. And then if you want to talk about sports, I do that too on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays on Dynasty Pylon.
I tell you, Danny, this guy works as hard as we used to when we first started, bro. You know what I mean?
Don't worry, I give it another year or two.
How long have you guys been doing this now, Brian? For
about 3 years.
Oh, okay, yeah. 2 more years, Danny. 100%.
I actually give it 4 months.
It ain't gonna be
months.
It ain't gonna be brand. It's gonna be tank.
No, what we've done is I found other people to do this stuff. So what's going to happen in a couple of weeks? I'm going to start having other people doing that stuff. I just kind of watch it from outside.
Because trust me, it gets to a point where it was like every day, yeah, we stream. Then it got to a point where like, boy, oh my God, we're streaming tonight. Oh my God.
The first 2 or 3 years, it was every night. 3 to 4 or 5 hours. I'll never do that again.
When I can get my computer back up, I might be on every night, but it's what you do. It's like the gaming streams and stuff. Gaming streams are easy and stuff like that. You know, you gotta have that wide variety of stuff. Whatever anybody tells you, if you're watching this right now and you want to do YouTube, understand that variety is very much the spice of life. Don't just do one thing, and don't worry when people tell you, no, you gotta have variety. You gotta pick one thing. That's what leads you down the path of talking crap on Star Wars 10 years after they did the crap.
You see, I agree with you. I agree with you on that too. But also you have to be, and we should talk about that on the OC or another, but you have to also be careful too, because if you have a big loyal family following,
you don't want to alienate them.
Right. So sometimes you're gonna do this. Now you may have a loyal fan base that will watch anything you do. But there will be times where you're going to do a game streaming and you only have people watch games. And then, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, this guy doesn't, all he's doing is that. And they kind of check out. So you have to be careful with that too.
Oh, yeah, sure.
100%. But with that being said, guys.
Upload some shorts every once in a while. Get your attention. Your viewers are like, oh, this is something new. Okay, a little clip here, a little clip there. Shorts do help.
The gremlin showed up to give a thumbs up and then come off again. Thank you guys for popping in. I appreciate it. We will be back next week with another episode. And then during the week, everybody said what they do. So make sure to check all of that stuff out. Peace, love, and hair grease. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Inevitable.
This song's all in the crew, they'll be back in the mix. Daredevil born and dead, talking deep with the flicks. Round table session, breaking count with precision. Murdock's back in action, got the tunnel vision. Yo, red suit on, but he ain't no saint. Throwing hands in the dark, no need for restraint. Wilson scheming, got his eyes on the block. Mats on the rooftops, hear the heartbeat knock. Yo, also calling shots, damage going insane. Who's the real villain, who's playing the game? Foggy and Karen, will they stay in the ride? Or will they get lost in the devil's dark side? Blood, justice, fists like thunder. Hell's Kitchen rise, watch the city go under. Born again, yeah, we breaking it down. Kingpin lurking, who's taking the crown? Round table, deep dive, theories unfold. Nzo with the squad, got the take on gold. Netflix stays gone, but the legend remains. Born again heat, yeah, remember the name.